Welcome back. In this video lecture, I will discuss a real-time query interview question based on the constraint implementation. Last lecture, I have discussed how you can create, how you can implement, and explain various type of the constraint applied on the table, and how you can also drop the data, remove the data uh, prime, uh, based on the parent table and child table, and also implemented a couple of the constraint, like how you can drop that constraint as well. So now I am going to discuss five very important question which you help to basically crack any interview question, or you can work on the real time based on the constraint question is there. So let me maximize little bit so you have better understanding. So the first one is the what is the difference between primary key and the unique key constraint. This is the very repeatable question you will get into the interview, like what is the difference primary key, unique key, and some cross question you will also get, like can we table have multiple primary key. The second question is why should you use the constraint at the database level instead of the handling validation in application code. Like if you have the OLTP application, some is basically handling through the application code as well. So why we need into the database level in the table, why we apply. Now the third question is, can a column have both not null and unique key constraint? So not null is constraint is basically used to uh, just prevent to insert the null value, and a unique key constraint is basically used to a uniqueness of the column. What does mean in the practice? Okay. So basically we'll explain in the detail. And the fourth question is, can we create a foreign key without a primary key in the reference table? So like uh, if you have the requirement to create the foreign key without like in the parent table there is no primary key will be there, so can we create or not? Now fifth question is basically, can we add the constraint after table is created? Like if you have table is already in place, after that can we add this constraint? So we'll discuss all this question very in the detail. So let's start with the first question, like what is the difference between primary key and the unique key constraint? So primary key is basically used to uniqueness purpose of the table, and unique key is also uniqueness purpose. The major difference is primary key is not allow the single null value. Okay, so let's jump with the some definition of this question, then we'll also move into the practical as well. So you can just explain that primary key uniquely identify each row in a table and does not allow any single null value. Okay, and but a unique key constraint also ensure uniqueness but allow one null value. So last lecture I already had discussed when we work with the inserting the table. Okay, so uh, if you go to this last lecture here, so what we're discussing here, like in the customer table. Okay, so unique key constraint is applied basically on the email ID. Okay, so in the customer table you can see one single null value is applied here. Okay, in customer table single null value will be applied, but when we try to insert the single null value on the customer key ID column, uh, they not allowed to. So the same thing is discussing here, that a unique key constraint also for the uniqueness purpose, but we can insert only one null value, and table can have only one primary key but multiple unique key. So if you create the primary key, automatically create the cluster index, and if you create the unique key, automatically create the non-cluster index. So how you can validate it? Okay, so this is my table. I created the primary key and the unique key on the account customer table customer ID is the primary key, and basically email is the my unique key. So when you do the SP help text on the customer table, you can find that once the primary keys got created, is automatically cluster index is created. So under underscore help table name, you can see under the primary key customer ID we have the primary key column. So automatically cluster index got created, and when we create the unique key, automatically non cluster index got created. So this is the major difference we have in both unique key and the primary key. So the next question we have, why should we use constraint at the database level instead of the just handling validation in the application code? Okay, so you can just answer it in the very simple way, like constraint ensure data integrity at the source. Okay, like basically when any of the developer, if they try to not validate, so we are the database developer, we are have the like authority to handle all these things. So they protect data from valid insert update regardless of the application layer, help avoid the repeated validation logic in the multiple application. So that is the reason we always use to create the constraint on the database level instead of the basically the application level. Now coming to the next question, can a column have both not null and unique constraint? What does mean in practice? Yes, column can have both. Okay, like for example, email where not null are unique. So you can also apply the not null and unique. So the single null value is also not able to insert. Like every user must have the email ID, and no two user can have the same email. So this is basically the uniqueness purpose. We use the not null and the unique constraint. Now fourth question is basically, can we create a foreign key without a primary key in the reference table? No, we cannot create. The reference column must be either primary key or the unique key column to ensure the uniqueness. So basically primary key and the foreign key, our relationship is based on the uniqueness purpose. Okay, whatever the data is available into the parent table, that data need to be insert into the child table. So this will not allow. Now the next question, can you add the constraint after a table is created? Yes, definitely you can add the constraint. Uh, you need to use the alter table, but if you have any data validation is there. So to understand this question, you need to be also do the data profiling. Like if you any of the age is got created, okay. Let's see example. If you try to add any of the data constraint, but the data is not basically match. Okay, what is the data is not basically matching, like not satisfy, like in the customer table. Okay, you can see this is my customer table is there. Okay, so you can see we have one of the data like 16 is created. So if you try to alter this table and if you try to add the constraint on the age table with the check constraint, they will not allow, because we already have the data is 16, but we our table level you try to use this constraint, so this will not allow you to insert the any type of the constraint. So always you need to keep in mind that if you have any column data is already inserted and data is not satisfied for the whatever the based on the check constraint or the any of the other constraint, unique constraint, it you cannot allow to add the constraint. But if the newly created table data is not added, you can add it. If data is also added, but the data is satisfy the what is the definition of the constraint, then you can easily add it. So hope you have the better understanding on the constraint level. Thank you so much. Keep learning, keep growing.